As a kid, I've always had a fascination with Jeff the Killer. Something about this creepy face all over YouTube horror thumbnails at the time scared me and countless others growing up watching creepypasta videos. There was just something about this image, getting jump scared on forums and getting trolled by your friends wanting to scare you. It really gave you the creeps. But despite being an image ingrained into the minds of countless of people's childhoods growing up, it's still considered lost media to this day in 2025. That's because the original image is nowhere to be found. So how is it that a cult classic photo on the internet adored by many online can't be found? And will the original ever be found? Join me as we go through the history of the lost original Jeff the Killer image. Although this video is dedicated to the lost image itself and not the story behind Jeff the Killer, it's important we start off here because in this web of dissent, there is a very big misconception that spiraled from the creator of the story himself. Jeff the Killer original concept and story was written by a guy named Caesar online. It's best to think of this version of Jeff as a concept rather than an actual creepypasta, because it doesn't really tell a full story and is more of a creepy-esque 2-minute video that just shows you a photo of Jeff and his brother Liu. It's the original concept for sure, but the creepypasta that blew everything up wouldn't be created until 2011 by GameFuel TV's brother. Also, side note, I think this in itself is kind of interesting. You know, the author behind one of the biggest creepypasta derivatives today isn't credited as himself, but rather as the brother of a user known as GameFuel TV. This is something I only just found out recently and thought that was interesting. But anyways, going back, the reason why this is important is due to the fact that in 2015, horror YouTuber Scare Theater interviewed Caesar, and in the interview you can tell that based off his wordings of everything, Caesar seems really displeased at a lot of things. One, in general, he's not too pleased with the direction that the 2011 version of the story took. Two, he's not really too thrilled that his version of the story was overshadowed, going on to say that to him, it's sort of an anti-fame. And three, in general, he seems to be really overprotective of the Jeff the Killer concept. So much so that he even outright lied and said that the original image was created with white latex masks and plastic eyes alongside rubber. A very general description that doesn't really answer much about the image itself. But the thing is, his last lie and biggest lie of all is his most damning piece of evidence against him, because this is simply not true at all. The video itself was uploaded to 2008, but the earliest known traces of the original Jeff the Killer image is dated all the way back to 2005, a whole 3 years before the Jeff the Killer prelude concept was even born. Not only that, but an additional discovery was made in the form of a Japanese video uploaded to YouTube called the NNN Special Broadcast. This video is a recreation of a Japanese urban legend. The story goes that late one night, a man went to turn on his television, only to find nothing but static. Suddenly, colored bars appear on screen, followed by an image of some factory and scrolling list of names. This went on for several minutes, before ending with a text saying something along the lines of, "This is towards the future, and these are tomorrow's victims." The broadcast would suddenly end, and static resumed. It's worth noting that at the very end of the broadcast, your name would appear on the television, implying that you're going to be tomorrow's victim. Keep in mind this is just a recreation of the Japanese legend itself and isn't actually a cursed video, but in the YouTube recreation, the Jeff the Killer image is seen for a split second at the 4 minutes and 11 second mark. And this was uploaded before Caesar's upload, dating his video by an entire year on August 2nd, 2007, almost 18 years ago. The creator of Jeff the Killer was caught in a web of lies, and as much as he wanted people to believe that he also made the original image, and thus most of what made Jeff creepy to begin with, this simply wasn't going to happen. He isn't the source of the image and only really named himself after a creepy image he found online. So if he didn't make the original image, where does this image come from? The image you see on screen is currently the most known image of Jeff. However, we do know that there is an even earlier version on the internet out there. This is known as prettyface.jpg. Prettyface originates from a Japanese game where people on forums would essentially edit photos of people and apply filters in order to make them pretty, and users would add on to each other's edits. Sometimes to make them creepy, and other times just to make a silly photo. And this brings us to the earliest known existence of Jeff the Killer. The very existence of this photo disproves other theories circulating online years ago. One of the biggest was a rumor that the original Jeff the Killer image is cursed by a girl named Katie Robinson. The story goes that Katie Robinson posted a photo of herself on the B-board on 4chan, but was inevitably made fun of and ridiculed due to her weight and appearance. Additionally, 4chan users photoshopped her photo to become the Jeff the Killer image we know today. Due to the harassment online, Katie became depressed and committed suicide. Her death only being found out due to Katie's little sister letting the board know. For a long time, this was widely agreed that this was 1000% the true origins of Jeff the Killer. But now we know otherwise. Additionally, the hoax of the image being cursed due to her suicide is also just false, as there's no death records or certificates for a woman named Katie Robinson that were ever found. And closing the curtain on this hoax, in 2019, a YouTube channel known as Gage would upload an interview with a woman named Heather White, which would be known as the true identity of Katie Robinson. It was confirmed that the image posted online and tied to the story was stolen off her MySpace account and uploaded to 4chan as a sick prank, clearing up this chapter of the story forever. So if this image isn't a piece of latex and rubber or Katie Robinson, then what or who exactly is this image? The truth is we don't know for certain, and the true origins is lost, and we might not ever know, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a good lead, and an extensive search has been done to try and get down to the source, leading us to Yama. Yama is the name of a poster who posted the original Jeff the Killer image back in 2005 to the website known as pia.cc. His testimony states that in 2005, a video of a middle-aged Asian woman appeared in Japan online, a face said to be pale white, and was said to be posted to various Japanese bulletin boards at the time, sort of as a surprise image to unsuspecting scrollers. This lines up with what we know so far. One additional comment made by Yama was that he does not believe the original video is online on the internet anymore, simply stating that it no longer exists. But he did say that he believes the clip came from a Japanese TV show called Honto ni Atta Nori no Video. An extensive search was done on all episodes of the TV show, but no frame sharing similarity to the Jeff the Killer image were ever found. Although, remember, this is 2005, so imagine a bunch of people on the internet randomly messaging you almost 20 years later, asking you to recall a meme image on a forum you used to use. Everything he says might not 100% be accurate, of course. Next up is comments made from 2chan users at the time recalling the original Jeff the Killer image. While these comments don't really add anything new, they do reinforce the idea that the original Jeff the Killer image has multiple versions and edits, explaining why we have multiple iterations. Multiple users claiming that the original image comes from a variety show from the 2000s of a young actor named Tamao Nakamura. While on the same topic, the origin of the eyes have also come into question for the original first iteration of the image, and from all things you would think it comes from, I'm sure you wouldn't guess that this comes from a supposedly Mr. Potato Head toy from 1999. Here's a demo comparison for clarification. But these comments reinforce that everything discussed up until now has pointed to the image coming from Japanese origin. Most of these images came from 2chan. Katie Robinson has been debunked. The original NNN special broadcast video comes from a Japanese urban legend, and everything so far has pointed us to this direction. So really, it does make sense to look here. Leading us to the strongest lead we have today, a Japanese woman known as Mariko. Mariko is a name of a Japanese woman who is believed to be the most plausible lead to the person behind the Jeff the Killer image. Just looking at the facial similarities between the two, it's hard to believe that this isn't the same woman, or at the very least, a very, very close counterpart. Not just that, but the timelines also match up. It's said that most of the images of Mariko came from her boyfriend Suzuka Maru, who operated a blog of Mariko attempting to lose weight. Suzuka Maru promoted it to various forum sites, leading to increased harassment to Mariko. Due to the bullying and mass promotion, many users of the board started accusing Mariko's boyfriend of having a shaky relationship with her, due to how he was posting the images of her, and also the fact that it's unclear whether Mariko consented to having the creation of the blog to begin with. It should also be noted that it's heavily theorized that the boyfriend made this page to generate profit from the people coming to the website just to make fun of Mariko. Eventually, there was an attempt to scrub the presence of the website off the internet completely due to the overwhelming negative reception towards Mariko, igniting speculation that Mariko found out and was not happy with the blog at all. On this blog, it's speculated that this is where the original Jeff the Killer image came from, one of Mariko's blog posts. And you can see here in the comparison, it's really, really convincing. Many aspects about these images scream the similarities everyone is thinking in their head, but there is just one big question: who can really confirm if these are very well the same people? I'm going to show you a couple images just to demonstrate something, and I want you to ask yourself, could this be Jeff? Or maybe this image? Is this one Jeff? Could this one be him too? Leading us back to our original question. Assuming Mariko is the original source, and if she comes out and confirms this is her, how would we even know for certain? The only way we can know for certain is if somehow by some miracle multiple stages of the edit or proof of the person who originally made the image comes out showing just exactly how they made it, alongside maybe a save file from 2004. Otherwise, it would become a big circle of he said, she said, much like how the original Jeff the Killer author claimed that he was the person that made the image. And that's just where we are right now. We're lost. Currently, at least. I'm at a crossroad right now because I'm thinking in my head whether the original Jeff the Killer image can even be found or not. There's lots of logistics behind this, such as digging deep back on the internet forums from 2004 and the additional barrier of it being in Japanese and archives potentially not even existing for that point in time. But above all else, a question I don't really see anyone asking is, should the image be found at all? If it is even found, how would we know for certain it's our primary target and correctly identifying the image as the original? I guess what I'm trying to say is that there is kind of a beauty in itself that this image has transcended a space of its own. And thinking of Jeff as anything other than a woman who's been ridiculed and bullied online as a target of harassment doesn't really sit right with me. For me, it's just a creepy image, but to others, it's a target to bully online. Right now, there is a bounty out there for the original Jeff the Killer image by Mutahar, some ordinary gamers, and this bounty's out there for over $10,000. ensuring that there will always be an active search and hunt for the original Jeff the Killer image, but as soon as someone does find it, which they definitely will, they will also definitely want that payout. And that's not a bad thing. If you found the image online and you are actually the person that truly found the original image, then good for you, you deserve that payout. But that's currently where things are at. I do hope eventually that the original is found, since at the end of the day, it is a piece of internet history, and eventually we will know the true origin one day. But that day isn't today. Just not today. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I really do hope that the image is found one day, but we're just gonna have to wait a while, and I think it's perfectly okay. I can't wait to see that day come. If you enjoyed my content at any time, a like and a subscription would be greatly appreciated. But for now, it's been fun, guys. Take care.